Okay, today we are going to be using the volume formula. We're going to start with this example. It says, which of these have the same volume? So what we have been given are the dimensions of 4 different rectangular prisms. And what we want to do is we want to determine the volume of each one and see which ones have the same volume. You can have the same volume even if your dimensions are different. So let's look at A. To find volume, remember, you simply multiply length times width times height. So let's multiply our first set. So we have a 12 for length, a 1 for width, and a 1 for height. So it would be 12 times 1 is 12, times 1 is still 12. So the first one is 12 cubic units. Let's look at B. It says we have a length of 2, a width of 4, and a height of 2. So 2 times 4 is 8. 8 times 2 is 16. So B is different. B is 16 cubic units. Let's look at C. We have a 2 times a 4, so that would be 8, times another 4. So 8 times 4 is 32. Ooh, this one's also different. So far, we don't have any that match, and that's what we're looking for. So let's see if our last one matches any of those 3. We have 8 times 2, so that's 16. 16 times 1 is 16. Ooh, here we go. We found our match. So we only had 2 that matched here, and the 2 that matched were what? B and D. So B and D matched. Okay, let's take a look at number 2. It says if a rectangular prism has a volume of 100 and its length is 5 and its height is 2, what is its width? So let's recall that our volume formula is volume equals length times width times height. Now here we've been given the volume. So the volume that we've been given is 100 cubic units. We've also been given the length, so that is 5. And we've been given the height, so the height is 2. The one that's missing, the mystery number, is the width. So we do not know this number. So what we can do is say, okay, well, we know it's this times 2 equals 100. So you can kind of switch these around and say, okay, well, 5 times 2, that's a 10. And it has to multiply times whatever's missing here to give us 100. So 10 times what equals 100? That is 10. So in this case, width equals 10 units. We don't know the unit on this, so if you don't know, you just say units. Okay, so there is number 2. Let's take a look at number 3. Okay, this one says we're going to make 4 different rectangular prisms with a volume of 24. We're going to list the dimensions. So what I've done is I've gone off to the side and kind of written out my formula, leaving blanks. And I know that each of them are going to equal 24. So I did some length times width times height equals 24. And then I just did that 4 times. The way I like to do these is to systematically list my factors. So what I mean by systematically is that I want to do it in an organized way. So I usually work my way up starting with a 1. So 1 times something equals 24. So 1's partner here is a 24. Then I work my way up and I go to the 2. Who is 2's partner to give us 24? 2 times something equals 24. 12. I keep going. There's a 3, isn't there? Who is 3's partner to give us 24? It's 8. Keep going. Does 4 have a partner to give us 24? Yes, it's 6. Now, you would keep going. Does 5 have a partner to equal 24? No. Does 6 have a partner to equal 24? Yes, but we've already used 6, so that's it. So these are all of the factors for 24. There are 8 of them, and they're all different, so that's why there are 8. Now, let's think about some different ways we could break these apart. Let's kind of start with the 4 times 6 and see what we want to do. Because we have to break it into 3 dimensions, right? Okay, so we could actually sort of break apart our 4 here and say 2 times 2. You see that 2 times 2 is 4. And then you could just keep your 6. So that could be, let's use that for our first one. So this rectangular prism that we came up with has a length of 2, a width of 2, and a height of 6. Let's do a different way. Instead of doing it like that, let's keep the 4 and let's break apart the 6. So we could break apart the 6 into 3 times 2. So there we go. So let's use that one. So for the second one, we're going to do, it has a length of 4, a width of 3, and a height of 2. And that gives us 24. Okay, let's see what else we can do here. You know what we could do? We could do, let's look at the 1 and the 24. This set right here, the first set. We could do, break apart the 24 into 12 and 2, right? And then say 1 times 12 times 2. Let's use that one. 1 times 12 times 2 is 24. And then there are lots of different ways you can do this. You can mix all the numbers up. You know, just so many combinations here. Let's use the one that has the 3 and the 8. So let's work with this one a little bit. So let's use our 3 times 8. So what we could do is we could say, let's break apart our 8 here. Let's call it just, I guess we could do 4 and 2, but then we're going to end up with similar numbers here, but they'd be in a different order, so that's okay. As long as they're in a different order, it counts as a different rectangular prism. So 3 times 4 times 2, or you could have done 3 times 1 times 8, right? That would work. You see, whoops, you see that? Okay, let's use that one because we don't have any 8s up here, so I like to try to make them unique and different as much as possible. There. Okay, so there are 4, and as you can see, we could have combined the numbers in lots of different ways to give us 24. Okay, have a great day.